Insanity, insanity, whatever happened to humanity?
Hey guys, let's talk about the Callisto Protocol. Honestly, I was going to review this game when it released. And before even that, I was actually going to do a show and tell video. I was going to do a show and tell video because I pre-ordered the collector's edition of the game straight from the Skybound Entertainment website. And I think that's the only way for you to get the collector's edition. And this video actually goes out to Skybound because this is not just a video of me expressing my experience towards the game and reviewing it, but just me picking a bone with you guys, because the reason why I waited so late for this is because I didn't have a choice. When I pre-ordered the Callisto Protocol, it didn't come in the mail within a few days, over a week later, and I did not know the reason why. I thought I was going through some transaction issues, even though they have taken my money over I think it was over $250 right when I pre-ordered it. Sometimes when you pre-order games, they don't take the money until the game has been shipped, but when you pre-order the game on certain websites, even a Plague Tale is like this too. Soon as you press that purchase button, in the game ain't come out within months or probably within another year, your money is already in there. The money is already gone. So I did not know if that was like any transaction. They did not tell me. So I literally had to wait a few days. And as I was waiting a few days for my game to come out, first of all, my show and tell video was already down the drain because I was planning on doing a show and tell video of showing you guys what was in the collector's edition before any motherfucker did. But when the game came out, and actually a couple days before the game was released, people was already showing what was inside the box, and I'm like, okay, that's out of the window. that's just freaking gone. So I was like, okay, I could just still do a review on it. But as I was waiting, people was already doing reviews on it, and not only that they was reviewing the game and saying that the game was this or that, but people was also saying that the game was terrible, the game was trash, it wasn't even worth the $60. So not only that I felt that the review was not just worth it, and the show and tell video wasn't worth it, but I felt like my money wasn't worth it either, and I really felt I was fucking livid. I was like, fuck, man, are you kidding me right now? So the game finally showed up, and I lost interest. Like, the reviews got to me, the waiting got to me, and I even felt depressed. I was like, man, like, I'm just gonna put you to the corner, because Dead Space was like right around the corner. It was right there, and I didn't have to wait that long for my collector's edition of that to come out. I showed my show and tell video on the shorts link on my channel, and I reviewed it. I had the outfit, I had the plasma cutter, and I had the helmet, which I showed off in my review. I'll put a link in the description box. I even got the Dead Space G Fuel. That tastes pretty good. Delicioso. But to show my love on Dead Space, I played that game out to the point where I've forgotten all about Callisto Protocol, probably so much in a way, to the point where I played the game, platinumed the game, did some speed runs on the game, twitched the game, streamed the game, showed it off on YouTube, and I have played Impossible Mode at least 3 times. I played it to the point where it was beginning to be predictable to me. So at this point, I was like, you know what? I want to play something like this game, and that was the Callisto Protocol. that was the Callisto Protocol, and I'm gonna have to say, the game ain't bad. The game is not bad. Do I regret waiting this long? No. The game has been updated. The game has been patched up. So a lot of the things that people were saying that the game was buggy, glitchy, there was a lot of screen tearing, the graphics did not show for what they was showing in the gameplay footages on IGN. All that made for it with the patches and the updates. But for what the game stands for, with the horror, the predictions, the jump scares, the lack of innovation of the character development, and the story itself that was lackluster to get you pulled in with the horror franchise itself, They're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. The game does need a lot of improvements of the horror lore, especially if the people who have created Dead Space has jumped into this one. The game does got good creativity, especially when you get pulled in by the lore aspect of you being stuck in Black Iron Prison and just knowing how to survive. Problem is, it was not successful. This is not a Dead Space game or a sequel or a canon connected to Dead Space. At least I hope not. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when we looked at footages of the Callisto Protocol, what did we normally saw? We normally saw a lot of death. We saw a lot of innovation of what got us pulled into the Dead Space franchise itself, of you just being stuck in these certain areas full of these nasty signs of just unhuman life and just these people deformed and they're coming after you and you have to fight your way to survive and stuff like that. Especially the death animations. The death animations looked at pretty cool. I can't say it's mind-blowing because by the people who have made Dead Space, we have already said this on the Dead Space games. So how creative can you be on this one? It's good that they added that on here, but at the same time, you really can't go that far out of you just being mind blown unless you never played the Dead Space games or haven't played Mortal Kombat either. So, other than that, the game doesn't really do well when it comes to you being mind blown and even you being unpredicted of what the game is going to show to you, especially when it tries its hardest. What I like about this game that Dead Space has not done, well, in fact, a lot of horror games has not done or probably failed to do, was just add on a close and personal aspect of how you interact with the enemies through melee combat. Now, when it comes to a lot of horror games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, they give you ammunition so you can fight off the enemies through far range combat, and when they get close to you, you do have some weapons to fight them off, like, you know, sticks or knives and stuff like that, but they don't really do that well. In fact, they run out of durability. But what I like about the Callisto Protocol is that you need to use close range combat. You do have weapons like a handgun, a shotgun, a fucking hand cannon and all that stuff, even an AK, but they shoot the same, they have the same type of maneuvers of the effects of what they can do with the enemies, and you can even add a piercing round that can explode an impact and show limbs, you know, get blown off, or a one-hit kill to dissolve the infection that would increase their body to rupture to make them even more harder to defeat. But what I like about the close range combat is that you have a baton, and this baton is broken if you upgrade it to the fullest extent. Some of the enemies can block your attacks, but if you upgrade it to the fullest extent, you can break their arm and you can keep fucking their ass up. And I love that. When I get to an enemy, the first thing I do is I'll beat their ass. I do not use no weapons. In fact, I beat the game one time just using the freaking baton. It was insane. So I do like that about this game, is that they want to focus more on the close range aspect of the combat and showing you how the enemies look in close range. And it, by a game that has good graphics and they show you the horror and the ugly aspect of these enemies, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and that needs to be praised for this game. The story was okay. It was enough for me to be aware of the atmosphere and the character's motivation themselves. Jacob Lee is the main character that you play as. I can't say that I felt his drive, but I did feel his intimidation of him just knowing what the hell was going on in Black Iron Prison. I mean, that's enough for you to get pulled in, right? Not for you to like the character or care for him when shit gets bad. I did feel some of his innovation, especially when he was really on the brink of trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, and when he finds one of his close encounters of people trying to help him out during situations, and that is Elias. I like Elias' character. His character, he felt like the Louis Sarah from Resident Evil 4. He wanted to do good by redeeming himself by trying to help Jacob escape and help himself leave out. I did not like the female. I'm just going to get that out there. I did not like her character. Hold on, my face is literally... I'm trying to multitask right now. Oh, it finally worked. My computer's been active for the past few weeks, and I'm riding this thing off till the wheels fall off. So sorry about that. But anyway, I did not like her character. Her character was a bitch. She was a bitch. Ooh, white face again. Let me close this. Try to close. There we go. Her character did not pull me in, especially when they try to explain why she was the way she was. I understand, but come on, man. In moments where you're stuck in Black Iron Prison, you need to try to stick together. And I just did not like her innovation. I just did not like her presence, especially when there were times when she was going to get killed off. I wanted her to freaking die, man. Her character will make you cringe, especially when she does something unforgivable to Elias' character, when he does try to get himself redeemed. And it's like, no, you need to fucking pay for what you did. That's just my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. Especially now, since you have woke culture supporting this type of stuff and not supporting this type of stuff. It's just, dude, when you are into a game or when you're into a franchise, you want to get away from that type of stuff because it's going to blind you of looking at what's common sense like and what's not common sense like. And honestly, her character innovation did not make sense to me, especially when she did things that did not make sense but make you hate her character more. The innovation of the game needs to be more praised about, because when it comes to horror games, they like to put you in the aspect of things that can happen, but the atmosphere is not that believable when it comes to you getting pulled in with the fear. The reason I'm saying that is because this game is not like Resident Evil, you stuck into Raccoon City. It's not like Dead Space where you're stuck into a ship. This is a game where you're stuck into a prison. Now, people may have a problem with that because they think it's cliche, but it's not lacking the fear aspect. I feel like if you're stuck into a prison, that's your ass. Especially, even if it's not full of infected inmates. If you're stuck into a prison full of inmates, you're gonna fucking shit yourself. I mean, what would you rather be? Stuck into a ship in space, like the Ishimura, or would you rather be stuck into a prison in space? I thought that was great. I thought that was very well done, that they chose this idea. But again, by lacking jump scares and lacking fear innovation and just certain things that they have put on a table, but they didn't flesh it out to make it more successful, it ended up being dull. It's like somebody pulling out a big hand cannon and it just has a big note that says bang in the end of it. It's like, dude, where was the where was the big explosion of me being mind blown? They didn't have that here, unfortunately. But what really let me down was the fact that there was no type of collectibles on the game for you to really get pulled in by the atmosphere of the Black Iron Prison. Now, don't get me wrong, there is collectibles, there is little messages in there, like little voice similarity logs, but not enough for you to get pulled in by the fear of the game or just knowing the aspect of what was going on in Black Iron Prison so you could be more afraid. Like what was going on with the inmates, which inmate was a badass, which inmate you had to dodge, and above all, what was, like, how does outbreak end up being taking place? They show that, but they did not really get you pulled in to the point where it was like fearful, you know? And above all, where the fuck was the cameras? This is based on a prison. There's no footages. There's no video recordings. There was a couple of them, but not. There was like one or two at best. There was no video recordings of what was going on in Black Iron Prison. That is freaking atrocious. Instead, we just got these video logs that's like 15 seconds long. They're just talking about them doing these deliveries, talking about other inmates, gossiping. That's it. That, you thought that was gonna pull the fans in? Are you freaking kidding me right now? And you think that was disappointing? Let's talk about the season pass. There's really nothing to talk about other than you just having other modes like limb dismemberment mode. And that's not what it's called, but the mode is just you just breaking off limbs easier, which you can already do if you upgrade your weapons and upgrade your baton. They have different harder difficulty modes. And they got a mode where it's like permanent death if Jacob dies. It's like, dude, you get all that on Dead Space. if you beat the game without a season pass included. It's like, dude, you're running out of ideas. But a lot of games are doing this now. Instead of you stretching out the story innovation of characters that is lacking innovation, especially the girl that I mentioned that is bleeding, that needs to have more innovation. You don't want to have her own story, but instead you want to add these little stupid nitpick features that can just be added by patching. That's just atrocious to me, and it makes me want to like dodge season passes until I know what is included into them. And Callisto Protocol has literally put me into that mode set of me feeling this way, honestly. The season pass also has new costumes, which they honestly, I did not like none of them. I stayed with the same outfits. Not just because they did not look creative, but I liked the regular outfit that they gave me. I thought that the character design and the costume design was good. I did not change it. I was like, you know what? These look worse. I like the other one better. I like the original better, and that was it. Oh yeah, and I think that they had death animations too on the season pass, and that's what a lot of people got pissed off about. I did not see why they would put that on there, but that just shows you that they're running out of ideas, and other game developers are running out of ideas to add things on season passes. Season passes is literally what they put on games now, which we don't mind, but it's like, dude, if you're going to put a season pass on a game, have the season pass be worth it. More innovation to the story, more character development cycles onto their stories, and give us bursting content, especially if you're going to put over a $20 price tag on these season passes. Overall, I feel like this game is okay. This game is not bad, but compared to the game's release of it being over $60 and me buying the collector's edition that took a while to get there and a season pass on top of it, it feels like a ride that you're going to enjoy, but it is filled with a lot of bumps and potholes. That's what the Callisto Protocol is. It has good potential. It has very good potential, but again, it just didn't land properly. The game was not successful what it was trying to do. I feel like a game like this is like a learning curve of their creativity, so they can do better on the next Callisto Protocol game. In fact, I'm giving them the green light. I feel like they should make another one so they can correct what they have done. Look at what they've done with Dead Space, and then look at the Callisto Protocol. They can do this. They can. I'm giving them the green light. Some people think that they should not, and they should just be a one and done. But no, especially the way how the game ended. I want to know what the fuck happened to Jacob. So, what rating I should give this? I'm gonna give this a C-. I think it deserves a C-. I'm not gonna go that hard on it. I think I have given it a lot of bashing, but above all, this game was enjoyable. I thought the game is replayable, especially since they added New Game Plus. I heard they didn't put New Game Plus on the game. That's freaking criminal, dude. But I feel like even they knew that this was a one and done game. They was like, no, they're not going to play this game again. But you'll be surprised, especially for people like me who like certain things that people don't like, and I hate certain things that people do. I just have my own little way of how I visualize things. But overall, guys, for people who was curious to play in Callisto Protocol, the game is cheap now. I think it's like, what, $19-20. It's up to you if you think that's worth it after what I've experienced, after what I've just expressed. But I wasted too much time. I tried to cut this review in half, but I was getting interrupted. And yeah, that's basically it. Stay tuned for more of my upcoming reviews and more videos.